Big 3 league. Congrats on the MVP. Yeah, welcome to Plat chat. I don't really know what we're going to talk about this week. The playoffs.
What? You literally just said we're going to talk about the play-ins and talk about the Sigma patch.
Yeah, I was like, maybe we'll talk about like the homestand or whatever, but nothing really happened. Just a bunch of people got bopped. Like it's the same exact teams that were in.
Nothing happened.
Oh, look, what happened? Shanghai looked bad. You and Wolf got in a Twitter argument. And Chengdu made the playoffs. That's about it.
All right, wait. What was the Twitter argument be?
No, it's just a New York
It was just some New York stuff. I don't know.
I was just like, the teams are practicing for the playoffs and the elimination matches. And I said that Vancouver, New York was meaningless.
Is this your tweet where you sounded like Donald Trump? Let me see if I can
like
get it
Donald
up.
Trump.
Yeah, you sounded like Trump, dude. Wait, where was it? It was the random capitalization of stuff within the tweet. It was like, don't tell me about... All right, here we go. Don't give me this NYXL looks better talk. Pushing Vancouver Titans to map 5 in a meaningless match means nothing. China invented global... Wait, no, sorry. The Titans rotated half their roster around. The New York Excelsior won't win a single playoff series. They're not good enough anymore.
Yeah, I believe Johnny.
I like it, but you sound like
Johnny. Yeah, a little harsh.
I'm just saying. He became the president.
Johnny 2020. That's what they're saying.
Yeah. Everybody out there voting for Johnny 2020. And then Atlanta, I guess, gets into the top 6. But I thought that was going to be a lock considering who Atlanta was playing. I mean, they were playing 2 teams that, half their teams are already back in their home countries at this point. I mean, those people got out here real quick.
Actually, though, Ares552's just reminded me, there was some proper beef at the Valiant homestand, like some actual juicy drama.
Yeah, have you all forgotten about the past 5 days?
Dogman and Arrow just popping off.
Yeah, that was weird, because, like, I don't know, Dogman got caught away with it.
Actually, Arrow didn't do anything. He just
Arrow didn't do anything. He was just like he was a bystander in this whole thing. But like,
he just got shot on a drive-by.
But like, you can talk a little bit of shit. Like it's alright. Like,
I think that's perfectly reasonable. Like, what did he say at the beginning? He was in the post-match interview, and he said something like, "Oh, we keep facing NA players that have been picked for the World Cup." And then it was actually Aero was the coach of this team. They just smashed Dallas. They're like, oh, it was the coach there. Well, what up now, Aero? Something like that. That was just like the most basic shit that he said.
Yeah.
And then in a follow-up press conference, he was like, I think Aero's a nice guy. He's just incompetent at his job coaching Dallas and the World Cup team. That's the real fire. That's the juice.
Yeah. I don't think you should label this as trash talk, though. It's sort of like criticizing. Oh no.
Bren's dead and all of our faces have swapped around.
Oh no.
Wait, what? Everyone's dead. It's just the 2 of us now, Johnny.
Well, I guess we're playing Classic WoW.
Has the stream gone down?
No, the stream is still up. Alright, it's me and you, Josh. Me and you. The only people who shared the same...
That is very fucking weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
The call is very laggy. Is the call in the right location? Yeah, our region is US West.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
I mean, it's other people's problems.
No, it probably because we're both in the same apartment means that it was our problem. If we're the only people that stayed on. No, but the stream is fine, so...
Yeah.
I don't know. Why don't we try making a new group chat? What is going on here?
Hello.
Oh no.
Hi, Matt. I can't see your video.
Hello? So now
now you're back.
Now we're fine.
That was so weird.
What happened there?
I don't know. I didn't understand anything that you just said because it was literally Mr. Roboto for your monologue. I was like, is this just me or is it everyone?
No,
the stream is fine. Too. The stream was fine.
I watched some of the monologue on stream.
Well, I was just explaining what happened. I just said like the Dogman talked a little bit. It was like trash talk in the post-match interview, but then when he actually went to a press conference, he just explained that he actually does think that Aero was incompetent in the way that he selected people for the World Cup team, and
but is that even
with his coaching in Dallas?
Is that even trash talk? Like to me, that's just giving an opinion.
That's literally what I said on the stream.
It's literally an opinion. Oh, I didn't hear you. Oh, like trash talk would be like, oh, like yo, he blows at his job, like or like something like that. This is like, yo, he had a take on how he decided to select the team and whatnot, and that was about it.
I think that people are so sensitive in the Overwatch scene. They think actually saying that someone is bad at their job is out of line. Like, how fucking mad is that we live in a world
I think it's the reaction that Dallas are upset with. Or some players of Dallas. I think they're upset about the reaction. Because everyone's like, oh, so spicy, trash talk, blah, blah, blah. And the Dallas players are like, no, that's not trash talk. That's actually like just criticizing. Now, I don't have anything against criticizing. But I think it shouldn't be like labeled as like, haha, funny trash talk or whatever.
What's like...
That was inappropriate, like, criticizing. It was not proper trash talk.
Yeah, but there's no difference between, like, if like Arrow came out and said like, oh, he didn't find Dogman to be a very good support player, that's why they picked somebody else. It's literally him saying the same thing about Dogman. Like, it's not really like Josh said, it's like just saying somebody's bad at their job. Like, remember when we were getting on like or a lot of people were getting on Zephyr like early on? It's like, oh, like Zephyr's not very good, like this and that. Like everyone was like, oh, like you shouldn't really talk about it. It's like, well, he's
I mean that's fine in my opinion. I just think that this is a bit of a gray area compared to your average trash talk. Average trash talk is going up in like map 1 or map 2 and Dogman saying this team sucks and just like shouting to the crowd or whatever. That's trash talk. But like in a post-game interview, sure, that was a bit of trash talk as well. But then to go to the press conference and say this guy is actually incompetent and he didn't do the job justice.
Yeah, I mean,
while he has already tweeted out that he underperformed in tryouts, and then to come out and say that he's incompetent.
I was thinking about this. People change their opinions over time, right? I mean, at the time, you probably thought, yeah, I underperformed a little bit. Now, listen, I got to go take the dog for a walk, so I'll be right back. But no,
what? You don't have a dog.
Exactly. Amen.
Oh.
Got him. These nuts. Huh.
Sigma.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know. I hadn't said anything in a while. I needed to let it loose a little bit. You know, I've just been consuming a couple of calories. I just posted my bracket as well on Twitter. All
right, shut up and get on with your point.
My point is, I was thinking about this, and yes, Dogman posted, I underperformed at the time, but I mean, people's opinions change over time. Maybe he's thought about it a little bit more. Maybe he's discussed it with his teammates who are also from the USA, you know, who maybe didn't get a fair opportunity. Maybe he's just consolidating all of their opinions all this time, and he's been kind of like dwelling on it. And this is his end opinion. This is his end thought. Just because he said something earlier doesn't really, I think.
Especially because he replied to Johnny's tweet about that, and I think he said, first of all, the point was that there were like 4 Atlanta players that didn't make it past the stage 1 trials, which he thought was unfair. All right, a bunch of those Atlanta players actually don't seem to be that good. But the second part is that he says that he originally said he underperformed just to try and draw some heat off Raucus, basically,
which is a good guy move.
Which is a fucking good move. Yeah, stellar move, because Raucus gets so much shit all the time and was already going through some rough shit this year. That's like a fucking G move, honestly, from Dogman.
Yeah.
Having said that, Raucus getting picked for this year's World Cup, I would not have picked Raucus over Dogman. Having not known what happened in the trials, it seems kind of astounding to me that Raucus made it all the way through and is their selection, whereas Dogman
how much stock can you are you going to put all your stock in the trials? Like, I think even if Dogman underperformed, you've seen what he's done in the league.
Yeah.
Like, people can have like a few bad days, right?
I think.
Well, he had a bad month. The whole middle month, Atlanta were pretty shit.
I think.
True.
Arrow built his roster last year, and now he built a new roster for this year. And I think he just considers Rockers like a key ingredient in what he considers like a good chemistry within the team itself. Like, he probably looks at Raucus as like a bit of a leader and a shot caller in this team, and it's exactly what Arrow wants. And
still getting it raw dogged by UK though, aren't they?
Yeah, boy.
Probably, yeah. You know. Anyway, I don't have a big problem with this debate. I just think we need to make like proper distinctions between trash talk and criticism.
But like,
because if it's trash talk, it's all fun. But if it's actual criticism, I want to actually talk about it as criticism and not talk about it as trash talk.
I totally think that it was criticism, but the thing I dislike about it is, for example, Reek Dog or something in your chat at the moment said Dogman has a horrible attitude. I don't think that's a horrible attitude. I think that is an attitude. I think that's perfectly fine. Like, he thinks that the way that Dallas Fuel are coached is incompetent. A fair opinion to have. It's especially one that I'm coming towards, honestly. And then also the fact that he doesn't think the US World Cup coaching or trials worked out successfully either. Perfectly fine opinions to have. That doesn't make him a bad attitude. Dogman's actually one of the hardest workers and one of the most thoughtful players that we have in the league. Probably one of the most improved this year.
Yeah, like, I want players to be able to do this more often and speak their mind and say how they feel instead of just trotting them out there as drones and just
Yeah.
playing.
And people are scared because of the backlash, I think, from the community in this sense. But also from other players, like from the Dallas players and from like, I think it was some of the Gladiators players weighed in and they were like, oh, no, you shouldn't be saying that kind of stuff. Fuck it. If you think a coach in the league is bad, tell other people. The only people that know are the players. For fuck's sake, say something if a coach in the league is awful, because nobody else is going to, because nobody else knows.
And I also think like these players can talk trash to each other during the game and they can like have fun like pre-game, post-game, whatever. But like it doesn't mean you don't like the other person.
Yeah, he said he's a nice guy.
Yeah, like I've talked.
Nobody could dislike Aero. Aero's fucking lovely.
Aero's like the nicest guys on the planet. But like it's like when we were doing COD, like we would talk so much crap, like to Sharp from Team Caliber, and we loved that guy. We thought he was great. He was awesome to hang out to. We would go out to the bar with him all the time. But once the game started, like fuck that guy. Like we would just go crazy, and it doesn't mean you don't like him. It just means you want to win. Which I'd rather, like as a fan, I'd rather see my players go like crazy and try and get us wins and talk tons of crap than like it infuriates me sometimes when I see like these players like they've been getting teabagged all game. You know, they lose like fucking 3-1. The other team gives them a map at the end because who cares? And they go across and everybody's like laughing and hugging and stuff. Like as a fan, that would piss me off. Like, yo, we just lost like a game where we got dunked on. Like we're getting teabagged the whole time. And then everybody's like hugging each other like we're best boys. Like there's got to be a little bit of fight there somewhere. Like,
well, I think for a lot of the Overwatch players, the fight stays in the server. I don't think that's too bad because that, you know, once you're actually interacting as human beings, at that point you're respectful about it.
Yeah. I just wish we had more of this pre-game. I wish we had more of this pre-game and during the game, and not always after the matches.
Johnny,
like going into a match, just say like, "Oh, we're going to have an easy 2-0 this week because this team is trash."
Johnny, if I played you in a match in a professional setting, let's say in some other universe, and my team dunked on you for 4 straight maps in front of 100,000 people, and we were teabagging you, and we were clowning and 360 shattering and whatnot.
I don't know why I'm being used.
And then I came across this stage like laughing, like looking for like high fives and hugs. Like, how angry would you be?
Nah, dude.
Don't give me that. You fucking
dude. You're dwarf ass piece of shit. Like I pushed off the stage.
Exactly. But that's the reaction you should have, though. Yeah, that's the reaction I want people to have, though. Like, yo, get the fuck out of my face. Like that's exactly what I would want. It's like
some players are like that though. We've seen that.
We haven't though.
Yeah, we have.
Like that's the reaction I would want from somebody.
Some players that have been fuming. They walk across the stage. They have to sit there while the players walk over to their hands. They ain't smiling. They're fucking frowning.
Oh my sweet lord!
What do you want out of them? You want them to start swinging on the stage?
Hey!
Gears of War.
I was in Gears of War for a little bit. Gears of War. I mean, Gears of War swinging to me the least here. Whereas Gears of War, I mean,
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, now, while we're on the subject, though, wait, are you still going on?
No, it's not important.
I was gonna say,
keep eating.
The US roster actually announced its final 7.
Oh yeah, well, you talk about that.
I have no idea who they are.
Yeah, so guess, Bren.
Super Space.
If I was to guess, okay.
Yeah, go on, guess. No, you guess. Don't look it up. Guess.
It's Muma.
Super Space.
He's seen this shit on Twitter. He's lying.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just racking my brain. Who's American? Who's Canadian? I don't know.
Really? It's taking this long to figure out.
Corey.
Yeah. I'll give you a hint. Only Moth was in the final 12 on his position, so it's probably him as well.
Okay, Moth.
Good shout.
Yo, he was gonna say Bonnie or some shit.
Raucous, because we've already discussed it about Dogman, right?
So you got 2 other DPS players. Who would you pick along with
2
Corey?
other DPS players?
Yeah.
Sinatra.
Ooh,
okay.
Wow.
And
see, this is the weird one. This third one is the questionable one, the one that I wanted to talk about.
What would I pick up?
Because I think there's a couple of people you could pick as well as the guy that they picked, and I think theirs is pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't rack your brain
Nero.
too hard.
Come the fuck
No,
on.
no.
I know that Nero
dropped out.
Nero dropped out of trials, but I would pick Nero.
Okay, but you can't force him to play. You can't lock him in a straitjacket and
but
say,
if it was me, I'd be like, hey, Nero, your country needs you, lad. Listen, Captain America, pick up the fucking shield and start winning some gold medals, huh? Because we've been getting clowned on the past couple of tournaments, going out in the fucking quarters. Let's put an end to that, huh?
All right, and he says, no, thank you.
And I say, well, I respect your opinion. And
who else do you pick?
Fury.
Inside Bren's brain, I imagine just a little monkey with cymbals going, USA, USA, USA. I can't.
Who are the Americans we've got?
Oh my god.
Or
Hydration?
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable pick to go for hydration. It's
but
not who they went with.
They didn't go with hydration. I didn't even know if hydration was from America.
No, they picked. He's.
It's not like he played for Team USA last year.
Yeah.
He is dual citizenship with Brazil.
Brazil, yeah.
So fair enough.
They picked KSF, Bren.
Interesting.
The other, who I would have gone with is Dante. Honestly, I would have gone with Dante and.
Okay,
and
I've heard some
Corey
stuff
pick
though
up the
behind the
other
scenes about KSF. That he's actually like, ignore the statistics. He's a fantastic teammate.
Right.
So that could be part of the reason why they picked him up. Like I've only ever heard positive things about how he acts in terms of his like communication, how he talks with his teammates. He never tilts. He's usually the one diffusing situations. I've only ever heard good things about KSF.
He's also a sick Minecraft player.
A sick Minecraft player?
Mm-hmm.
Bro,
not as good as Dante, bro.
Yeah, not as good as Dante.
No, I think you might be better than Dante.
They
were both competitive Minecraft players.
Because right now you're sounding like me.
I think you're absolutely pulling this out your arsehole.
I think KSF could fish more fish in Minecraft than Dante.
That's not competitive Minecraft.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
So wait, Josh, you would have gone for somebody else instead of KSF?
I mean, I don't really know because who knows what the fuck the meta's actually going to be. But I feel like when you have, well, I don't know really. When you have Sinatra and Corey, that's a lot of heroes already covered.
You probably
KSF is pretty decent.
You probably want KSF if case like a double sniper meta comes up, and then you could have Corey play like the Widow and KSF play Hanzo.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like Sinatra doesn't really play either Widow or
also
Hanzo,
KSF is obviously the Genji in this.
Is he?
Yeah, but I mean Sinatra can play it, Dante can play it as well. If we got to I don't really see us getting into a Genji meta anyway, but if we did, then I feel pretty comfortable.
No, that's 2016, 2017, bro. We're way past Genji.
Yeah, like Tracer, like a Tracer Doomfist or like Sombra Doomfist, like Corey and Sinatra probably play that. Like
with how good Sombra is just as a hero, I'd feel reasonable having Dante in the lineup just in case she came back at some point.
Do you think they just prefer having Sinatra play Sombra?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
You probably have KSF for the Widow.
I don't feel bad about the DPS lineup. I just think it's arguable.
KSF for the Widow instead of Corey.
Well, would you want Corey to play Hanzo or Widow? I mean, Corey's Hanzo is fucking nutty.
I just don't.
You're playing two snipers.
Hold on. You lot are talking like we're even going to be in that meta.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know what the fuck meta.
KSF is a pretty great bastion. You got Sinatra on the Symmetra.
It doesn't matter, bro.
Orisa, Symmetra. Who do you have as the fourth DPS? Or the second, I should say. Don't fucking.
The fourth DPS.
Who do you have? Do we know?
What do you
I
mean?
don't really know what teams are playing as a supplement DPS to Symmetra.
But this is the playoffs.
Down fools, fam.
Doomfist,
this is what we can talk about before the playoff stuff. Like the meta is going to be interesting.
It's a different. It's a different game.
So
it's like it's a wall building game. It's Minecraft.
You have
so this is why I put out my this is why I wanted all of us to do our predictions for the brackets.
Okay.
So because I just posted mine onto Twitter. So if you could all take a look at that and rip me to pieces, and I'm gonna justify different moves I make.
Okay, let's take a look. My predictions for the bracket. Here we go.
Where did you made this on the website?
Yeah, this is based off a team's abilities to adapt to metas and scrim bucks. What do you mean by scrim bucks?
So word on the street is the latest hot tub gossip. Okay. I've been in the jacuzzis. I've been hunting. All right.
Okay.
Apparently London are pooing.
That's what I've heard as well. Yeah.
They are pooing right now.
Yeah, my sources have told me Spitfire is actually probably the best team.
And this seems why Fuck this has always happened with Spitfire. They just heat up in playoffs, bro.
Yeah,
They get this like newfound motivation. They're just coasting during the regular season.
I
Just
do
buying
actually think that's
Gucci
the
and
case.
Balenciaga. He's leaving it under tables.
Also, very, very lucky with the meta.
Well, all you have to do, I mean, they know. I mean, when I did an Access Granted with them earlier in the year, we were just kind of talking over
When you spoke
like,
Korean.
yeah, where I tried to speak Korean, didn't go very well.
감사합니다.
We were talking, and I was like, oh, well, what's the goal for the season? They're like, you know, we don't want to burn ourselves out early on. We know we just need to be good towards the end. And like they knew they like at worst this team, even if they mailed it in, we're going to be in the play-ins.
Bro, if they actually are back-to-back OWL champions, they have just snapped up. Prophet and Gesture have become the greatest players of all time. Like instantly, they have become the greatest players.
They'll
of all
be
time.
the greatest team of all time. They'll dethrone New York, San
will.
Francisco, Vancouver, like whoever. It'll just be London.
Yeah, how outrageous would that be? This bracket that you've got, though, why have you got the Spark beating the Charge? I know that it's something minor, but any meta where the Spark have to learn it quickly, they don't tend to do it very easily.
I think the Spark have had more time than most to prepare for this. They should have known that they were going to be. They've been like pretty high up in the standings. They've had longer to prepare.
But we saw how that went for some teams last year as well.
Also, the Charge, I feel like the Charge kind of looked into this current meta that we're seeing in a way because they've got such phenomenal talent in the form of like Nero with his Mei, and you got Happy as well, who can play the Hanzo to such a high level. And I don't think we're going to be seeing the same heroes. And I feel like they've got good teamwork. I think Rio is actually sick. Like he's up there now, one of the best main tanks that we've got in the game in this meta. But I don't have faith in their ability to adapt to this new meta.
So let's not talk about Bren's bracket too much because I can't actually put it up on screen. But we can talk about the teams going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think.
So let's talk about the play-ins. So in the quarterfinals, you have the Charge against the Hunters, and then 9 versus 12. Does anyone like the Hunters in this?
No.
They always have upset potential, but
not against Chinese franchise teams.
No. So you said this recently, and then Volumel tweeted, not at you, but just subtweeted you, being like, that's actually not true with the Charge versus the Hunters. I know that the Hunters in general don't do well against Chinese teams.
Who's on the OWL desk?
Well, who's actually going
to go into my WoW Classic queue, so I'll see you later, boys.
Oh, I got into.
All right. But I think the Hunters in the Charge. Let me just pull up.
Also, Volumel, just fucking at me next time, you little shit.
Well, I think he was just trying to
subtweet.
Oh, trash talk.
Reddit. This shit. Get it on Reddit, bro. Me off more when I come across your Twitter post. You're clearly subtweeting me. Just fucking do it. Let's create some drama. Let's create some clout, baby.
He's just trying to write the misinformation that you spread across the world.
So I can retweet it and say, yeah, I was wrong.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
Let's create clout.
Let's create some clout, baby. Let's increase the followings for both.
Oh, here it is. So the Chengdu Hunters are 1-1 with the Guangzhou Charge this season with a 4-5 map record. So they're essentially even across the season. But the Chengdu probably did play them when they were looking pretty shit. So it's, I don't know.
I think the Charge win that one. I think the more interesting games, the Fusion Dragons.
I'm still bullish on the Guangzhou Charge because I think that Hotba is an underrated off tank, and I think he'll adapt to Sigma actually very quickly. I think Philadelphia potentially messed up when they let him go for the Guangzhou Charge because Hotba was a crucial piece of Philadelphia even making the grand finals last year in the first place. He's actually incredibly versatile. He can play a lot of different heroes, even like DPS heroes, and I think he will pick up Sigma very quickly. And I think that Guangzhou sort of figured out this style we're already playing in Stage 4, and I don't think the introduction of Sigma is going to be much different because it's not so much about flanking these days, it's just playing straightforward. And I think that's going to continue with Sigma because he blocks off the flanks, etc.
Hopper is 11th on the tank leaderboards at the moment, playing majority Sigma, if that means anything to you.
I think...
Not really, but thanks.
I think the Charge win round 1. Does anyone like the Dragons? This team fell off mega hard.
Not really.
I could try selling you this way. Doomfist is going to be really important, and Youngjin's outrageous on Doomfist. Once you get away from them playing a bunch of Pharah, because I don't think they're going to be able to get away with it at all, then I could see a world in which they're able to beat the Fusion. You see Poco complaining about the meta and this kind of shit. Consider Sado and Poco as your tank duo playing Orisa Sigma. Yeah. I don't have much faith in that tank duo, honestly, because Poco is a good diva, very good diva, but he was never
Honestly, as bad as it may say, the winner of this match, it may not even fucking matter because they probably lose in the next round.
Yeah,
sure.
Because I think, look, whoever, we could sit here and argue all day whether you take the Fusion or the Dragons. Do you have either of them beating London? I don't.
No, not based on what I've heard. You know?
I ain't taking that chance.
Through the grapevine, I've heard that London Spitfire.
I'm sure Johnny's got his boys over at Seoul Dynasty beating the Guangzhou Charge.
No.
What
do you mean, my boys? I ranked them 10 in my power rankings. How is that my boys?
They're your boys.
They're mid-table, bro.
Dude, they missed the payment this week,
Yo, I'm just saying, bro. I like the talent on this team. Doesn't mean I think they're good. I put the Philadelphia Fusion at number 10 as well, going into stage 4. Everyone was like, "Oh, Carpe, EQO, it'd be like 2018 all over again." I was like, "No, they're number 10, bitch," and that's why they're not going to go far in the playoffs either.
I like just riling you up about Seoul Dynasty and saying that you've defended them.
Look, I think they looked better with Fleta on the Maiden, and then just having Fitz playing the hit scan. So if Fitz could just play the Symmetra, and then I think we could see Fleta play. I think
what Seoul Dynasty needs to do in the offseason is to trade for more MVP candidates and then force them to retire. I think that's what they should do.
Yes.
But I think they'll have plenty of time to be able to work some stuff out like that because I think they go home here to the Guangzhou Charge.
Yeah, and also another factor we have to mention is that it's actually probably better to play one of the first rounds because you won't even have time to adapt if you're London or Seoul anyway, and you'll have less time to get used to playing on the stage again. So you'd probably want some warm-up practice on the stage, and that's what we saw last year when Valiant went out in their first round in playoffs because they just.
I kind of want to discuss more of this bracket. Obviously, like we'll be able to discuss the matches in the post, but I think doing the bracket's kind of interesting. I think we can just go through rapid fire because there's so many games. Titans Charge.
I've no idea. I would expect the Titans not to be that great, but from what I've heard, from what you were saying, I haven't been involved in any hot tubs, but the Titans are also looking pretty hot, apparently, according to the Scrim Bucks, no?
Oh, dude, I've been at the swimming pools, bro. Like, dude, Titans are actually pretty good as well.
You've been at a spa?
Oh, dude, I've been at the spas, dude. You're like me and a bunch of buds, bro.
Sauna room tour.
Yeah.
You don't need the coals when Johnny's in the room. He's heating it up.
Titans. Yep, Titans. Still top 4. Still top 4.
Let's give Titan the edge in that one. Spark Gladiators is interesting because didn't the Spark just beat them?
Yes, I believe so.
Like you mentioned with Hotba, I believe the last time I saw, I checked like 3 or 4 days ago, I think. But Hydration was number 1 in terms of tanks on the leaderboard, playing a ton of like Sigma Orisa Ball.
Yeah.
So maybe they have Hydration, who actually hasn't played a ton this stage. Maybe they've had him playing Sigma on the side, figuring it out.
I actually don't really like any of these teams because I think Gladiator's greatest strength is in their DPS play, and I think we're going into a meta that won't even help DPS showcase their skills in any kind of way. It'll all be about tempo and like ability usage and all of that, and I think even supports will see less importance because they'll just play Moira, and it will all be about like who speed boosts best at what time, and I think that won't help the Gladiators at all.
I think you take the Gladiators in that matchup though against the Spark. The Spark don't adjust well early to metas. Like,
I don't know though.
Is that a coin flip?
I really don't like the Gladiators front line, and I mean Hydration might be pretty good and carry them to victory. But
all right, so let's skip that one since we're undecided.
I think the Titans win no matter who gets through. Though.
Yeah. So... Well, it would affect the loser side. NYXL London.
I'm taking London. I almost agree with Johnny London. So Johnny's hot take was that they wouldn't win a single playoff series. I don't see them winning any.
It could look like it.
Mecco on Sigma.
Does anyone want?
Everyone's getting riled up, and now everyone agrees with me.
Oh no! Everybody on this show agreed with you.
Did anyone disagree with you here?
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys weren't tweeting anything. You guys weren't controversial.
I wasn't tweeting.
You were just chilling. You were just in the hot tubs, dude. You weren't tweeting.
Yeah, you're going to the school of Brennon Hook. You bring up the drama, bro. You start creating all this friction. And
dude, my engagement just poof stonks, bro.
Shock Atlanta. I think this could be close.
I
may be biased. I think this could be really close. I was Bren, you weren't there. I was just hanging with Josh and Johnny before this, but I thought the winner of this match can easily make a run to the final.
Yeah.
I think both of
agree.
these teams. I think both of these teams are that good.
And correct me if I'm wrong. The loser of this match plays New York in the lower bracket. If they lose.
Yes. The loser of this plays New York. I still would give the edge to the Shock just because I've seen them do it in big games.
Yeah.
But I think you will.
And also my boy Nevix, of course. Oh, Nevix, dude.
Nevix is sick.
Yeah, he's sick.
So let's go back. What do you guys think? If you had to pick one between Spark and Glads, who are you picking?
I'll go for Spark, I think.
I went with Gladiators just because I.
Yeah, I want to pick Spark, but I'm going with Gladiators because of hydrations.
Right, I'll go Gladiators. So let's go loser bracket now. You have a Charge Spark matchup.
I gave that one to Spark because I needed a bit of time to get going.
This is for 7-8, but even with that time, it's not a ton. It's like, well, I guess it's 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
I think Charge are going to pull a Team Liquid run through the.
I think I would have Charge in that one.
You think the Charge going to pull a Team Liquid run?
The thing with Charge have been not carried, but Charge have been relying on Happy being a freak on his sniper picks.
Yes.
And I don't see them playing sniper.
No, I don't think so either. But
I don't know how good this team. I think they'll go from being like genuinely looking like a top 3 team, which is where I would place them at the moment,
middle of the pack.
Yeah,
to a little bit more middle of the pack in terms of the top 12.
But I mean, you don't even need Happy because like Nero has shown that he has great versatility, and then you just put like Eileen on the Doomfist.
Yeah, but I think Eileen
is actually sick on Doom.
That is a real. I forgot.
No, you guys sleeping, bro. You guys sleeping on me, bro.
I'm taking the charge, bro. I'm taking the charge.
Eileen is actually nuts.
Shout out to Skybeam24.
NYXL Atlanta. Can Atlanta go 3-0 against NYXL this year to knock them out?
I think they will.
I think they will.
I think they will. Let's be real.
Right.
I think they will.
How does NYXL avoid going 0-2 in the playoffs and just bombing out?
They'd have to beat London.
Right, but I mean, just like conceptually, like who even needs to step up? Because Jonak's going to be on Moira, so the guy's not going to be able to do a fucking thing. Anamo's going to be on like Batiste and shit, so he's not going to really be able to utilize that much. They need to put so many more resources into Mano and Meko, but they're just like always have been low resource players. It's the worst meta for them.
It's playoffs.
Yeah. Wow.
It's hard to say.
I don't see a world in which New York don't go 0-2. What about more Flower? Like Viridius said in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, Flower is their best player as a recent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've really been enjoying Flower. I've been very pleasantly surprised by Flower's performance.
But why? You're going to put him on Symmetra?
No, you got to put him on like
That's what he did in 2016, right? That's what he did in 2016. He was playing Sim, huh?
Did he?
No, I think that was Taerong that got nano boosted, wasn't it?
Was it?
In 2016?
Who the heck was it?
Tyrong was the main support for Korea.
I always associated with him.
Oh, maybe it was Taerong that nano boosted Flower.
The only way I can see New York winning a playoff series is if a scenario where Chengdu and the Fusion make it out of the play-ins, NYXL would play Philly in round 1.
That would ruin the entire bracket.
I would give them the edge over Philly.
The only way I see them go far.
But that is literally like the only scenario in which they don't get like a London or the Dragons or something like that.
Yeah. The only way I see them go far is like if they put Libero on like May or something, and then they put Nene on like or like Flower on Doomfist or something, and just
we have NYXL going 0-2, but it is real easy to see that though.
It is
the way they played.
It doesn't even seem like a hot take.
So let's go back to winners. Titans, Gladiators.
Titans. I don't feel good about Gladiators or Spark.
Yeah. Neither do
I. And then you got London Shock. Oh, that is a doozy.
That's a spicy one. I had Spitfire winning just off the back that I feel like.
You think they're gonna win it all?
No,
he's got Shock.
So my bracket has Shock doing a Team Liquid. I'm doing a lower bracket run and winning because I have so much faith in the coaching staff. I think initially they will struggle against London, which are apparently dominating. They'll go back and review. Shock will go back and review that match and go on a run. But this match if we should take a look at Shock Spitfire, this theoretical match. Shock, they took a bit of time to get a little bit adjusted. I feel like they had an easier schedule in stage 4, so we didn't see it as much. But stage 1 in particular, they did take a bit of time to really get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
They've also always struggled on control, if that makes a difference.
I tell you what, I think regardless of how this match shakes out, this is probably your final.
I could.
Yeah.
That's so much stock in Spitfire's scrim bucks.
That is
maximum
buying
stock.
That is buying
all the stock.
lot of scrim bucks.
Give me all the scrim bucks. Give me your finest scrim bucks.
This is such a different game that I could easily see. Not easily, but I could see a world in where Shock fails to adjust and loses in like the lower bracket somewhere.
All right,
like they get upset by someone.
But then I have so much faith in their coaching staff for them to just rectify and review the footage and just absolutely dominate.
No, but I'm just saying, like, if you get upset by Atlanta and then you stumble again in the lower bracket, I could see them stumble one more time.
Who are you taking this match?
In which one?
The Spitfire Shock, because we need
Spitfire.
I would go Shock.
I mean, we're just speculating, right? But based on what I've heard, I've heard that London are like by far the best team in.
We can only speculate off current information.
And given what we know about London and elimination matches and playoffs, I think that
I think the Shock win, but for the sake of fun, I'll move the Spitfire in advance to break a tie. That'll be more fun to discuss. Yeah. So now your lower bracket is Shock versus the Guangzhou Charge. I think the Shock get by that.
Yeah.
Unless Eileen just comes in the lineup and starts just fucking pounding.
Hot by an Eileen.
Shock could have one of the toughest bracket runs imaginable, actually.
Well, dude, if Shock loses to Atlanta in the first round, they would then play New York. And then they would have to play the Gladiators.
Yeah.
Can anyone link this bracket creator in Twitch?
Yeah, it's on a Bren. It's like some Giga Brain bracket.
Yeah, but I can't spell it out.
Gladiators, Atlanta, Reign. I think Atlanta would beat the Gladiators.
Yeah.
Judging by current performance,
yeah, judging by current performance, I think Atlanta has adjusted really well second half of the year.
Again, though, is Erster going to be
as effective
in the new meta?
Honestly, I don't even think it's that much about Erster. This is a team that just has momentum going for them, and it seems like they're having genuinely a lot of fun playing together. And I think them as a team can overcome a lot of obstacles this playoffs.
You know who I feel like has had a good stage? I feel like FRD's played really well.
He has, yeah.
I think he's definitely kind of put some of the where's Daco stuff to bed. So then you would have a winner's final of Titans Spitfire. I would almost, in this scenario, okay, if London is good enough to beat New York and then the Shock, I think they're good enough to beat a Titans team who only had to go through the Charge and the Glads.
Maybe. I don't know. At this point, we're so deep in the sauce.
We're so deep in the sauce.
We're lost in the sauce.
We are so lost in the sauce at this point.
We're going to see fucking Symmetra just come out.
It could be anything.
Yeah,
the thing is, it's so difficult to know, especially when there's another week before these games properly kick off, right? Or not quite another week. There's still, yeah. I mean, for the teams that have managed to get themselves into the playoffs, there is another whole week and a bit, before they get to play.
A lot of prep time.
A lot of prep time.
Oh,
this is just my dream bracket, though. You know, like if this happened, I think this is like the best storylines possible. You know?
It would be phenomenal if Shock and Titans stay very good. But we also have Atlanta, Charge, and London looking great as well.
Yeah.
5 genuine contenders for the final.
You could have a scenario where, like, the Shock. Okay, if the Shock lost round 1, or even if they lost in round 2. Listen to this. Let's say if they lose round 1. If they lose round 1 to Atlanta, they would then have to go through NYXL, the Gladiators, Atlanta, potentially the Titans or London just to get back to the finals. That's an unreal road.
Yeah. It doesn't get that much easier if they stay in the upper bracket as well.
There's gonna be sort of sick players.
That lower half is way harder.
I love double elimination.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
It is fantastic. The opportunity for a comeback is just phenomenal.
The lower half is so brutal. Like the NYXL Spitfire Shock Atlanta side compared to like Gladiator Spark Charge Titans.
Yeah.
That bottom side's way tougher.
Oh, my brain does this to me sometimes, but it just wants to see the opposites happen. So it's like, hey, Johnny, you know, all your good analysis, you know, like throw it out the window. What if?
Everyone wants the underdog to win, right?
Yeah, but that's why my brain's just like, hey, the charge could upset Shock in the lower bracket, and I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense. But brain is like, yeah, no, it could happen. You know?
And then to
entertain the idea,
because somebody asked in the chat, the finals is not double limb. So like so basically I think the finals is just one series.
Yeah.
And whoever first to 4, whoever wins is the winner. So there's not like a scenario.
No reset.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. That's the same tournament format that TI has, for example.
Yeah. And
it's excellent because what you're doing is the bracket is just a way of finding the 2 teams that deserve to be in the final, and then they just go at each other. And it is an advantage to stay in the upper bracket because you don't have to worry about being eliminated. Like your punishment for going into the low bracket is at every turn possibly being sent home.
Yeah.
I like the. Do you like this? Never mind. It's a pointless discussion. I was gonna bring up a discussion, but it's kind of pointless. Whatever.
This is weird now. Now that we have so many teams eliminated, we have no way to end the show properly because we've just been ending it with Johnny asking Bren if he wants to discuss the worst team.
No, but there has to be.
Now that we've sent all the worst teams,
are we done?
What?
Where else do we go?
It's rampant speculation at this point.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, we're just fucking discussing things that may or may not even
Twitch chat. What should we talk about? Wow. We okay. Well, it was a 50
we did that an hour. Yeah, we did that an hour. Yeah.
The thing is just like we have very little way of knowing what's going to happen.
Oh, somebody said go over contenders.
GG.
That ain't happening. Yeah. That'll be the way. That'll be the way we end it from now on. Johnny can just ask, "Yo, Bren."
Hey, Bren, you want to talk about contenders?
Yo, Bren, why don't you update us on contenders?
You want to talk about Classic WoW?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, hold on. Now you're extending the show.
Yeah, now we're extending the show. Let's talk about Classic WoW.
Nah, that'll be the way we end it, is where Johnny just asks Bren, "Yo, Bren, give us your contenders update." And then he's just like...
Okay, so I guess we're done then.
Oh, wait. Do you want to actually talk about regular season MVP? Because that's the only thing to like put a button on is these awards.
Yeah, Sinatra should be the regular season MVP. Like...
Oh, the T-Mobile MVP?
T-Mobile MVP Sinatra. That's who I voted for.
I didn't get a vote, but yes.
I voted for Super. And a lot of people are going to be angry at that.
Yeah, you're right.
Josh. But here's my justification for it. Came in, he's improved significantly. He's one of the leadership figures. He's one of the only person or people on Shock who likes to do interviews.
Come on!
I
think
a
terrible reason.
That was more in jest. That was more in jest.
But even like improving isn't a good reason.
Improving as a player as dramatically as he has, and being a core part of his team.
It's not the most improved. It's the most valuable.
Improving is not really a MVP.
Dogman is one of the most improved players.
Just let him say his words.
But Super as well. It's like people love to focus on Sinatra because they built around him as a player. But like, who's paying attention to Super when he doesn't get the resources committed to him, but he's still performing it to a high level?
Super does get all the resources. Sinatra doesn't get the resources. He's like holding on off angle on high ground, beaming people down, but they don't
He gets
it's
resources.
Super in the front lines. They give all of the heals.
It was always the meme in stage 1 and 2 that they gave Sinatra the resources.
Well, he would be on the high ground.
They moved on from that because
they didn't do that anymore.
But are we going to penalize somebody for getting resources?
No, I will admit it's you can make probably more arguments for Sinatra because I'll make an argument right now for Sinatra. I think his mentality is ridiculously improved over what it once was. His play has improved over what it once was, and he had arguably the best performance we've ever seen out of a player.
He had the best performance on one of the more impactful heroes throughout most of the season, and his team played in every stage final. I don't know how you can really make an argument for anybody.
Well, I just like the fact that Super came into the role into Reinhardt. He got coached up to the position he was, and he was almost subtly carrying the team when they were playing GOATs in a lot of ways. His shield usage was fantastic. Like, he was managing it to perfection. He could read almost every Reinhardt player in the league in terms of when they were using shatters, when to counter shatter. He was being an absolute nutter. And like, it's sometimes we talk about the shock, and some people like to make the argument that it's a Sinatra show, but it's like, it is pretty much the whole team.
Can you make an argument for any of the Titans guys? Like, I personally don't think.
I think it should have been Haxel.
The Twilight argument is that he was what was kind of the backbone of that team. Like, he was always safe, always in the right position, just pumping resources out, never put a foot wrong. And they really relied on him to be able to succeed. They needed that kind of player in their team.
They also had
I never bought that, though.
He was the best flex support for the first 3 quarters of the season.
Yeah,
do you not think that, Johnny?
Well, now we're getting into, like, what's the definition of that again? Because, like, I do think that, he popped off because his team popped off with him. And so he's playing the role furthest away from the enemy team on a role, just throwing orbs on the team that is winning the most games, and he has high numbers. Like,
but I would also say, like, if you're gonna make Twilight the MVP, like, I don't think his performance this year is better than Jonak's last year in the same type of flexibility.
I think Jonak played under way harder different circumstances.
Jonak literally changed.
Yeah, but they also gave Jonak all of the resources and played around him.
Because he was that good.
Yeah, because he was that good. Yeah.
But Twilight is as good as Jonak is at the moment. Like,
I don't think so.
I didn't.
Statistically, he's exactly tied with him across the board, and NYXL have still won as many matches as the Titans have.
Statistically, but I would
against worse opponents.
Yeah, but I would say that the Titans have a way better core around. If you put Jonak on the Titans,
I think that team might fall apart, though, honestly, because Jonak plays like an aggressive style where he requires people to play around him, and the rest of the Titans need all of the healing and all of the shit that Twilight gives them.
Exactly. So we're getting into the sauce.
Yeah,
but like,
that gets you lost. But it's like, that's the argument for Twilight.
Right.
I am not voting for him. I voted for Sinatra. But if it had been a GOATS MVP, I think the only 2 real answers are Sinatra and then Twilight, in my opinion.
I just don't. I just think it's
MVP.
easy in the role Twilight was throughout this entire season. I think it's easy for flex support players to shine, and he did shine. He did put up incredible numbers. But I think that is not as impressive as Jonak's performance last year, and I don't think that he deserves as much credit compared to the rest of his team.
Here's an interesting one. If we had an MVP for just Stage 4, who would you guys pick?
Just Stage 4?
Ooh.
I was going to say Rascal, but that was like Stage 3 too.
Corey?
Yeah, it might be Erster. Erster or Corey might be the 2 to pick, honestly.
Architect's been nutty too.
Dude, Godspeed's actually been kind of outrageous. Godspeed's flown under the radar, but he's low-key fantastic, Godspeed in Stage 4.
Yeah, but it comes down to the MVP.
He took some time to get going.
I think
everyone's going to say Corey because he had that monster performance against the Titans. Outside of that, though, he's just been very good. Like, he was truly fucking outrageous for one match.
The worry was that he was going to fall off. And he didn't.
I'm probably gonna say
unreal for all their games.
I'm gonna say Erster because I think there's no way Atlanta goes 7-0 and gets to top 6 without Erster.
Yeah.
If
you were gonna, because we had to pick the MVP candidates, like halfway through the season. If you were to pick the MVP candidates now for the regular season, like ignore the T-Mobile
Rascal.
MVP, actually,
I think would be in there.
Like I actually do think that Rascal and Choyobin would be my number 1 and 2 picks. Choyobin may be number 1.
I would probably put Rascal, dude. Like, the fact that guy was able to play Batiste at that high level, the Brig, and then when we go to a DPS meta can just play whatever the fuck. Like, how many other players in the league are able to do that?
So what do we got? We got Rascal, Choyobin, Haxal.
Even Haxal, they've had to take him out recently, though.
That's true. They did have to take him out a little bit towards the end. The thing is, though, Haxal was definitively the best Brigitte in the world.
Yes.
Rascal was good, but he was like defined Batiste and has been really good on May, but his Brig was like, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Whereas Haxal was just insanely good on Brig and then nutty on Genji. And then they had to remove him because he didn't really fit the compositions towards the end. But he did play a little bit of May. It was all right. For me, Choyobin takes it.
Ooh.
Choyobin was just outrageous at D.Va the entire year. Was able to put the rest of his team in position to win. And his hog, whenever he pulled it out, was cracked, motherfucker.
Yeah,
it
actually was
cracked.
You can make an argument for Moth as well, though.
You think?
Yeah.
It depends what he does within that team. If he does a lot of the shot calling, it's hard to know who shot calling.
I find it hard to pick somebody from the Titans when the Shock have gone to every stage final.
Yeah.
It's
like
difficult.
Like,
it depends
if it
on,
is
like stage 3 was the big deal breaker for me because Rascal, he didn't carry Shock, but he had so much influence on San Francisco in stage 3 with the release of Batiste and their performance and them. Yeah, it's.
And then he ends up just going to play a DPS. Like he never comes out really. Like
the coaching staff for the San Francisco Shock, if we had best coaches in the league, would certainly win that award.
I mean, yeah, we don't even have to have an award for that. I mean,
there are some other awards actually. I always forget, but there are other awards that are going on. Who would you have for the Dennis Havelka award this year?
Oh, I don't know for Dennis Havelka. Honestly.
I think like
Custa,
Baby Bay, or like Gamsu.
Baby Bay?
Like, either of those guys.
No, you have a Gamsu or Custa.
I think Custa's
why
the pick for me.
Gamsu? Because he has a dog. Like, why Gamsu, honestly?
No, wasn't there like some trash talk between him and some player, and he was like, "Hey, let's become friends," and like they went on a hike, and he's just like a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's just like, "Hey, what up?"
I think it was between him and like one of the Vancouver guys.
It was Haxal, I think.
Burnt out or something like that. Yeah.
I probably go with Costa because he donated. He gathered money for charity for St. Jude.
Yeah, he did a lot of stuff with St. Jude's on Valiant.
That's where I'm going with Costa.
And he's been part of like 2 rebuilds of that team and always been like upbeat, positive and that kind of shit.
Super positive, yeah.
Yeah.
Every time he does an interview, he's a stand-up guy.
I don't think we do a coach of the year, but Krusty, runner-up, Junk Buck.
Second runner-up.
Yeah,
rookie, I find kind of
9K.
I don't like the rookie of the year award. I think it should be only 18 and 19-year-olds.
Well, how do you define rookie? Like some of these guys like are quote-unquote Overwatch League rookies, but they've been playing professionally for years.
Matt, I've given up. I just go by the Overwatch League's definition at this point.
Well, who did you go with then?
So Haxal is 18,
which is Haxal's a rookie. Apparently.
I went for Haxal.
I think that's who I ended up voting for too.
If it hadn't been though, if it wasn't anyone from the Titans, if it was like a brand new kind of player, Nero is he's not even brand new, but it was the first year that he's eligible to play. So that I think has to be a rookie. Like looking forwards, if some guys, but that's the same with Haxal. It was his first year of being eligible this year.
Yeah, he's 18.
That's why I think it's more reasonable. Because even if the Titans had got in like 2 years ago or whatever,
it's like him, Nero, DK
last year. Yeah.
One award I didn't see on there that I would like to hear to wrap things up would be most improved player from last season. So someone who played last year but improved this year.
Oh, they had to play last year as well.
Yeah, I mean, but that's where you brought up Super and.
Is it weird to give it? I mean, Super and Sinatra went from
Sinatra was the first one.
Yeah, medium to like MVP. Like
the first one that came to my mind was Super and Sinatra. First 2 players.
But
Sinatra wasn't as disciplined as he once was, which is a kind of way of saying he's feeding more or less.
Oh, I remember like Sinatra doing his own thing on Tracer and like going on flanks and not synchronizing with his team, and then Krusty came over, and Sinatra just like stepped it up to another level.
He's like, nah, fam.
I'm gonna throw some names at you though. Baby Bay.
Yeah.
Actually really improved from last year, looking a lot better. Here's one out of left field, which I might have to defend a bit. I don't think he would be running for the title, but I'm just kind of running through names in my head. Jake, actually looking a lot improved this year. He seemed to rely a lot on the Junkrat and looked pretty lost when he went to a lot of other heroes last year. He's looked pretty. It looks like his hero pool's pretty deep.
They did get 17th though.
I know, and I'm not saying that he was an incredible player or anything, but I think that Jake trended upwards when the rest of his team trended downwards this year. Weirdly,
in some ways.
Yeah. Who else was there? Nobody from Philly or New York eligible at all.
Fact fiction? He was on the bench of Outlaws last year.
I don't think that counts.
And now he's a starter for Valiant.
I just don't think you have enough playtime.
Sure.
Like
Guido? No, because Guido looked like a hard feed. Well, that entire team looked like they hard fed in goats. I don't think you can just look at stage 4 when Guido's been okay.
Could you make a case for Rascal for most improved? He went from like
he was sick last year though,
out of the league, and then
he was just in a bad spot last year.
Yeah, I think mentally the guy's improved a lot. Yeah. Like he's actually become a much better teammate, much better player. But in terms of his like mechanics or whatever, I think that's what most people think.
Yeah.
Bren's favorite, Ryu Hong.
Ryu Hong, I think.
He got a little bit better.
Yeah, it's got a bit better, yeah.
Fearless. What about Fearless? What about Fearless?
Shut
Roshan.
up.
Where's Roshan?
Roshan, yeah, what about Roshan?
Roshan, huh? Justice for Roshan. All right. I feel like I'm sufficiently soaked in the sauce.
Yeah.
Soaked in the sauce.
Yeah. We got well and truly lost.
We've been bathing in the sauce for a while.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for my classic WoW queue to pop, so I mean, I don't have anything else to do than this podcast.
Yeah. Well, I do have things to do. I got people to see, people to slay, Gurabashi arenas to contest.
Yeah.
And,
Bren, do you want to talk about contenders?
No.